Hey everybody, it's John from the Hustle Daily Show. Before we get into the show today, did you know that HubSpot launched an AI chatbot that helps you build awesome campaigns at scale with just a few prompts? It's called Campaign Assistant, and it's a totally free-to-use AI tool made for marketers and business leaders who spend hours a day on content creation. Campaign Assistant will transform the way that you build marketing campaigns at scale. Craft personalized emails, ads, and landing pages in just a matter of minutes. Just pick the content type, add the key selling points, and let the AI take it from there. And the best part, it works seamlessly with all of HubSpot's marketing and sales tools to scale your output across email, social, and more. So AI your way into the most effective campaigns yet at HubSpot.com/campaign-assistant.
Howdy folks, it is Monday, May 22nd. I'm Jacob Cohen, and you're listening to The Hustle Daily Show. Today's stories. Good jobs come to those who wait and wait and wait. Want a new white-collar gig? Be prepared for it to take a while. Also, Target has bigger problems than shoplifting, organized shoplifting. We will get into both of these stories in a bit, but before we do, let's take a quick look at what else is happening in the world of business and tech. Let's get crack-a-lackin'. All right, first things first, today in AI. Evolve Technology, maker of AI gun detection systems, doubled its earnings and saw its stock price increase at recent points more than 150% year over year after it started marketing to schools. And all I can say about that is, how's that for a snapshot of 2023? Also, Neeva, which is a startup co-founded by former Google execs that's been building a privacy-focused consumer search engine alternative to Google, said over the weekend that it's shutting down its consumer search engine and pivoting the company to what else? AI, which I guess underlines two things. One, that yes, AI is really hot right now, and two, that it's pretty hard to compete at search engines with Google. Moving along to the no-fly zone. Yes, a federal judge ruled against American Airlines and JetBlue's Northeast U.S. partnership, saying it reduced competition in the industry. One economist estimated it would cost customers more than $700 million per year. The airlines said the partnership helped start new routes, improve competitions with the likes of Delta and United, and didn't lead to higher prices. In other news, we've got another one, as in another Twitter clone, this time from Mark Zuckerberg. Meta's microblogging contender, yes, will launch this summer. Reportedly, it will be a standalone text-based app, but integrated with Instagram so that users can keep their handles. Also, Apple dropped some new digits about all the bad apples it's keeping out of its app orchard. The company says its App Store, which attracts more than 650 million weekly visitors, stopped more than $2 billion in potentially fraudulent transactions last year and booted around 1.7 million app submissions that didn't adhere to its strict standards across privacy, security, and content, according to the company. Also, esports industry investors may need to press pause and reconsider their gaming strategies. Esports group FaZe Clan, which went public on the NASDAQ last year, laid off 40% of its employees and risks delisting if it can't get shares back up above $1. Moving along, we're closing in on the end here, but first, how about these muscle memories? Kellogg is infusing nostalgia into the protein powder market, collaborating with 6-Star Pro Nutrition on Frosted Flakes and Fruit Loops flavored whey powders. Want to properly set up your gym for liftmate Tony the Tiger? His official height is 6'3", by the way. And last but definitely not least, the buyers of the most expensive home ever sold in California are, take a guess, Jay-Z and Beyonce, who dropped around $200 million on a 30,000 square foot Malibu mansion. Actually a discount given the property's $295 million list price. So I guess you could say they went bargain hunting, right? Good for them. All right, and with that, let's get to today's main stories. So let me ask you this. Are you having a terrible time landing a new job? Well, you are not the only one. If you've ever pursued white-collar work lately, there's a good reason why your head's always looking for a good wall to smack itself against, and that's because the market's absolutely brutal. So remember the friendly post-pandemic hiring market, right? That's been pretty well obliterated by now in many industries, and especially in real estate, finance, and tech. And it's really a simple case of supply and demand, according to the Wall Street Journal. Supply is down. U.S. job postings have dropped by around 500,000 since 2022. Well, demand is up. The market's flooded with experienced candidates following 2 layoff-packed years for white-collar workers. Tech firms alone, for instance, have shed around 363,000 roles since the start of 2022. The result for workers? Well, competition. So much competition. AT&T, for one, said its applicants per posting have nearly doubled year over year. And as for companies, employers are realizing they once again get to be picky as hell. Companies are taking longer to make their picks, according to the Journal, with hiring now averaging 11 weeks, up from 7 in 2021. And it's taken a toll on candidates who've seen the norm increase from 1 or 2 interview rounds to an average of 3 to 4. On the bright side, at least, in other words, if it isn't going great for you out there, it's not necessarily on you, so just remember that. And by the way, in today's newsletter, Ben drew up a handy etiquette refresher guide for employers on when it is okay and when it is not okay to ghost job applicants. Yes, it is a sarcastic guide. Yes, you should go take a look at it and sign up for the newsletter after this. All right, and now let's talk about how much people love stealing stuff from Target. So if Target's mascot Bullseye were a real dog, he'd have A5 Wagyu beef for every meal and roll around in a $3.2 million Bugatti of dog collars. Yes, that's a real thing we linked to in today's newsletter. Go check it out. Anyway, Target ain't exactly hurting, is our point here. Its average customer makes around 23 trips per year, spending around $50 each time. Sales topped $107 billion last year. Yet, we grimaced when we learned about Target's growing inventory loss problem. So how much are we talking here? Last fiscal year, the retailer saw $763 million in so-called shrink, which is loss of inventory, whether by accident or a deliberate act like shoplifting, fraud, or cargo theft. And CEO Brian Cornell expects Target's inventory losses to balloon beyond $1 billion this year. And it's not just Target. Walmart, Walgreens, and Home Depot also recently lamented their own theft increases. So what has changed? Well, for one, organized retail crime is up, or I guess in Target parlance, up and up. National Retail Federation President Matt Shea told CNBC it's not people shoplifting an individual item for personal use. Stores, he said, are fighting sophisticated networks stealing throughout the supply chain on docks, trucks, and railways even, as well as in stores. Efforts to limit secondary markets for stolen goods are underway. A law, for instance, goes into effect next month requiring U.S. online marketplaces to verify high-volume sellers. So that's good to know. But also, obviously, it's easy to blame criminals for, well, crimes, but retailers must also look inward too, right? Investing in loss prevention can help prevent losses. Yet 68.5% of retailers do not have teams fighting against organized retail crime, according to the National Retail Federation. Perhaps that's because external theft only accounted for 37% of lost inventory last year. Other major culprits, by the way, were employee theft, which accounted for 28.5%, and process failures, which accounted for 25.7%, which all brings us back to Target's mascot, Bullseye. Listen, we're not saying he's running a crime syndicate, but does anyone else have a presence in all 2,000 or so Target stores? Think about it. Just saying, right? We're just saying. And bada bing, bada boom, that's going to do it for us today, folks. Thanks for tuning in to the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of the HubSpot Podcast Network. Our editor today is Ezra Trupiano. Our executive producer is Darren Clarke. We've got a lot more tech and business coverage in our newsletter, which you should sign up for at thehustle.co/email. Hope you have an awesome Monday, a great start to the week. Catch you here tomorrow. Go on, get out of here. Have a great day.
Let me tell you about a show that I've been loving lately. It's called Entrepreneurs on Fire. It's hosted by the incredible John Lee Dumas. It's available now on the HubSpot podcast network. Entrepreneurs on Fire stokes inspiration and shares strategies to fire up your entrepreneurial journey and create the life that you've always dreamed of. I'm a big fan of this podcast. It has energy, it has value, and it's all about learning about entrepreneurship. I was just listening to an episode the other day. JLD interviewed Jay Rogers, who was such a wealth of information. He kind of went into how entrepreneurship chooses you. You don't necessarily choose it, and that failure only happens when you stop trying to win. A lot of gems in this one, so I highly recommend checking out that particular episode along with the rest. So go listen to Entrepreneurs on Fire wherever you get your podcasts. Hey guys, if you listen to the Hustle Daily Show on Google Podcasts, we want to let you know that the option will no longer be available pretty soon. Google is sunsetting its podcast app sometime in early 2024 in favor of YouTube Music, and we want to give you a heads up before it's too late since that time's almost here. The Hustle Daily Show is available everywhere and anywhere that you listen to podcasts like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you're using YouTube Music, we are there as well. If you're an Android fan, there are plenty of apps like Overcast, Pocket Casts, Player FM, and more. So just search for us wherever you decide to listen to your favorite podcasts.